we are in Bognor Regis, and I am an assistant principal at the Regis School here on the south coast. And my name's Saunders. I'm responsible for what we call character education, which is, if you like, the personal development and the holistic development of our children. Originally, we were attracted to Taskmaster because character development is really essential to what we do. We are an association of character education quality mark plus school. We're a regional hub, which means that we really try and be innovative, creative, find new ways to develop character. So when I saw Taskmaster, I thought, oh, this just looks perfect, because it's exactly what we try to do with our students. And in addition to that, student leadership is really strong in our school. And so I had the idea that perhaps we could use the Taskmaster challenges with our student leaders as a way of really stretching them and developing their character further. Initially, we used it with our sixth form student leadership team. When students join our sixth form, they're often with students they perhaps weren't in friendship groups with before, and so we always look to give our students the opportunity to sort of bond, gel, get to know each other on day one of their student leadership training. And so we basically ran 6 weeks worth of Taskmaster tasks, but in a day. Throughout, we were then pausing and reflecting on what skills we were using, and that really helped our student leaders find their own strengths, also perhaps their own weaknesses, and then as a team they were then able to use that to then vote for the various positions of responsibility, having got to know each other. What I've really liked about Taskmaster is that it can be quite difficult. It is that the tasks aren't easy. There's more than one way to approach them, and I think that's why they were so appealing to sort of our sixth form students and the older age group, because they could really think and be very creative about how they approach the tasks and be mindful of their own strengths and weaknesses in doing that. We have some really strong core values in our school, and so when we were developing the tasks, we would use our language. So for example, resilience, independence, creativity are core values at our school. So we would say in this task we're really looking for creativity or resilience, so that helped just to make the task feel like they were ours as opposed to just out of the box, as it were. So it felt like they were developing Regis School students in the Regis School values. We are looking to work increasingly with our partner primary school, which is actually on our campus. And when I saw the sixth formers doing this, I actually thought, do you know what, this would be incredible if they were to perhaps run it with children from Southway. And of course they're a United Learning School, and they'd already been doing Taskmaster with their year sixes, so it was something they were familiar with. And so we did some training with our sixth formers. They had to have a free lesson, and they had to be interested, they had to want to do it, and they had to commit to all 6 sessions. And then we've worked together to create the sessions, design the sessions, and then they go over and deliver them to 30 children in a year 3 class. Session 1 was interesting, I'm not going to lie, but we reflected, and then we basically cut it right down. Three activities, an introductory task, the main task, and then a shorter task at the end just to finish it off, which is actually typically quite a calming task. It'd be like a sorting or a thinking task, which just settles them down at the end of the session. From then on in, each week's been so much more successful because we've learned that that's how we have to deliver it to those younger children. The sixth formers have definitely become more reflective, more understanding of additional needs. What they've had to learn is that in a year 3 class, a really mixed year 3 class, that not all students are going to A, get it first time, or B, verbally, or even want to take part, and they have then got to adapt it to try and make the task inclusive. And so they've learning that they need to find the strengths in the different individuals they're working with, rather than thinking that, you know, everyone's like them, who, you know, loves nothing more than a competitive tower building moment in their day. They've discovered that some of the children just aren't as easy to engage in that way, and they've got to be a bit creative. The tasks definitely work for both age groups. Both groups really love the sort of physical challenges, the building, the practical. So throwing the ball was really, really positive. Onto the chair, and problem solving, how to make that ball stick on the chair from the furthest distance. but also, again, finding the strengths in the group. That was interesting. Who was going to do the throwing? And actually, do you put yourself forward, or actually is there someone else in the team who's going to be a better person to win that task for you? And actually the negotiations were exactly the same in the sixth form as they were in year 3. I would recommend it to everyone, and I think there would be a space for it with staff training too, and that's partly what I'm thinking next is might get my sixth formers to run some staff CPD and run the sessions with them. I think that would be really interesting, but also would show our staff just what our children are capable of. I mean, people have come into our sessions today and said, oh, I wish she was in our class and I wish she was an ECT working in my school. And it's a 16, 17-year-old girl that's holding the room and holding a room of 6, 7-year-olds. So I think, I think it can work anywhere and with any age group. Ultimately, it's fun. And so, that surely is the best way to learn, for sure.